Hello, assalamu alaikum, good afternoon, and welcome everybody, and thank you very much for the Saudi Council for giving us the opportunity to talk about my experience as a non-Saudi trainer in the Saudi Council. So this is a very exciting talk, a very unusual one as well, and I was delighted when your team contacted us. My background is I'm working in Dr. Sulaiman Al-Habib Medical Group as a training program director for OB/GYN residency training since 2018. My journey with the Saudi Council began way before, because I came to Saudi from the UK, from the NHS system, back in 2009. So I have been a department head for about a decade before I changed the perspective and went into teaching. And there has been a lot of help from the Saudi Council, from our hospital group, and also from the peers in the training program, especially for the OB/GYN residency, that I would love to share some great moments with, and with a brief bit of a background of what we are doing at Sulaiman Al-Habib, because we are the first private healthcare group in the kingdom who have the ability of starting not one, not two, but 80 clinical programs with the Saudi Council, and which are running successfully since 2017. So our vision at Dr. Sulaiman Al-Habib is to be the leaders in healthcare education in the private system, and we develop our trainees not only to become diverse, but also to become culturally amalgamate in between the societies over here, and prepare them to go out in the country, in the region, in the world as not only as a trainer, not only as a collaborator, not only as a researcher, but overall a medical expert, as per the views of the Saudi Med, which has been translated into the Saudi training system by the CanMed system from Canada. So we have an excellent research center. We do an annual academic awards on an annual basis. Our research rewards are in excess of about 700,000 riyals, which get divided into the first, second, and the third researches. And we have a huge postgraduate training center. We have talent developing center, and our online academic forum has more than 800 different courses free of cost for all our trainees who are in attendance. So this is a brief journey. We began in 2014, and in 2018 we added more programs, and that's where we started our journey. And in 2024 we have advanced laparoscopic bariatric surgery. We have fellowships in and across the country and outside the country, as far as Canada and North America as well, which I'm going to touch base briefly with. We have institutional accreditation for Sulaiman Al-Habib Medical Group by the JCIA 5 times now, and we have the local Sibahi accreditation for Sulaiman Al-Habib Medical Group for 6 times. So that puts the things into perspective when we were talking about CPDs, and we were talking about quality and safety. So all that is amalgamated into our trainees when we talk about giving them a good hands-on experience about maternity dashboards, or about KPIs, or about actually being part of the training committees and the committees for safety and quality in the hospital as well. So Sulaiman Al-Habib Virtual Academy, we have more than 7,000 employees per hospital system, and we have about 13 hospital systems, so you can do the maths. So it's a huge medical group. It's like something akin to Kaiser Permanente in the US, or any bigger institution, I would say, especially in Gulf region and in Saudi Arabia. It's one of the biggest private healthcare providers. So as the Saudi Council says, this is our program structure. We do morbidity and mortality committees, we do training and safety committees, we do grand rounds, we do half days of training education on a weekly basis, and we have mock exams, we have simulation training. As I'm here, the new residents who have joined from the 1st of October, they are doing a surgical training skills course on site at the moment as we are talking. And we also emphasize a lot on quality improvement. I have been the quality and safety administrator for the hospital group for about 10 years now. So there's a lot that we have amalgamated in the training practice of the residents in terms of safety and quality. So And the program structure is, as the Saudi Council would say, that it would translate down from the program director to the deputy program director to the training directors. And we have institutional committees who meet on a 3-monthly basis, and we put our findings down, and we are very much sort of an interactive group. We are very much approachable group, and our trainees are working hand in hand with us in sorting out these sort of trainee-led committees. So it's not all about the top tier, it's about the ground level staff, our trainees who are involved in these committees as well. So yeah, that was a very exciting thing that I was being asked, what are my challenges as a non-Saudi trainer. Now, being part of this country since more than a decade, about 16 years now, I no longer consider myself as non-Saudi. Saudi is my second home. But yes, when I go back to the UK and when I compare, the first time I came here in 2009, and I came from the NHS very fresh. And what I thought over here was that in terms of safety and quality, I think we are more safer over here. I felt more safer as a foreign consultant with very little knowledge of the local language. So the first thing I would like to talk about is the language barrier that I had, that we in our hospital group, we were very, very gregarious and friendly. We were given translators, and it took about 10 months to fly solo. After that, I asked my interpreter to stay outside and let me see how it goes. So it's not rocket science. Arabic is a very easy language to learn if anybody wants to learn it. And then again, embracing the change. I mean, if you are accepting the residents, of which we have 27 OB/GYN residents at the moment, and overall in our hospital at the moment, there are 92 residents from different principles, including medicine, including general surgery, including ICU, radiology, dentistry, so on and so forth. So it was very important to go down on the ground level to see what are the issues of diversity, what are the issues of difference in training from where I was coming from, and the difference in training what we have over here, and how we can mash them and marry them together to bring a unique program for our trainees. And then again, as I said, it's very much interactive training. It's very much like there is no tier system or no sort of system where we say that this thing is a commandment and this must not be done. The most important thing is that it's a learning curve. It is adult learning, and we do understand that adult learning can be challenging at times, but with simulation trainings, with the e-portfolios that the residents have to maintain, and with the trainers on site who are very, very important to be the part of the system, and with an overall scenario of all the trainers and training program directors and deputy training program directors in Riyadh, we are now a small family within this context. So that is very amazing how things took the turn for the positive from the very beginning, that I'm very happy to conclude that there has been not much issues at the ground level that we would have faced that would say that, okay, this is a big speed breaker and we need to take a look back and reflect on what we are doing. So we did not come across that many because we were given a strong foundation. And I'm so proud to mention our Saudi residents that who are coming from an education system, from the medical schools, that they are learning diversity. They are learning how to tackle racial disparity. They are also learning how to tackle safety and quality at work. They are learning how to be good communicators, and they are learning how to be effective collaborators at work as well. So that makes our job very easy on site. Okay, so basically, we were initially, I had to learn the customs and norms. The first time I came from UK, and what I learned was that you are a very, very friendly society. I have worked in different parts of the world. I have worked in the US, I have worked in Ireland, and I have worked in the UK. And then I came to Saudi. So comparing all four societies, I can say you are a very, very friendly and giving society. So you welcomed me with open arms, and I thank you all for that. And then, again, adapting the teaching styles. There is so much to learn from these young learners as well. So what we do is, when we are training a workshop, what we do is we sit together and we ask, what sort of learning objectives are we looking into? So we have been about 6 years, 7 years into training now. So we have sort of these workshops in a box, which we can pull out anytime every 3 to 4 months. And then we can set it up at a very short notice as well. So here you can see some photos from our department where the residents are learning hands-on training for suturing, for episiotomy, and those kind of courses. Okay, and of course it was imperative to learn about the Saudi healthcare system and what are the differences between where I was coming from and what the Saudi healthcare system has to offer. And to my utter and pleasant surprise, we had a lot more to offer over here, and which I also learned as a trainer as well. So initially when we started our journey, it was like a training of trainer course. I had already done one with the Royal College in London, and I did another one in Saudi over here, and that gave me the perspective of the salient, very, very special differences in terms of the societal cultures, in terms of the diversity, in terms of the understanding and acceptability of the cultural and the norms over here. And then, of course, comes the residency training matrix. It was slightly different from what I was used to, but not very different at all. It is more robust. The 145 system, which is undergoing a massive change this month, as we are talking, is again, a huge addition, add-on to the clinical training matrix or e-portfolio for the residents. And they are very much keen on, if they are learning something on site and the trainer is discussing with them or the teams are discussing with them, that they put everything on the e-portfolio, and then they have a one-on-one resident trainee-led communication and talk about their training exercise, whichever exercise that may be, a pre-op or a post-op or a clinic exercise or a ward-based exercise. Now, so again, it was very important to build relationship with our colleagues on board. As I said, we have a huge group of training program directors all over in Riyadh, from Jeddah, from all over Saudi Arabia. We meet often, and also we are in touch on a WhatsApp group which has daily updates of whatever is coming from. And again, we collaborate in such a way that we have, initially when we did not have a simulation training lab, we were sending our residents to local hospitals like King Faisal and King Fahad. And now we have, alhamdulillah, our own simulation training lab, which is working efficiently for all the simulation scenarios, including laparoscopic training, including surgical training, including obstetric scenarios and ICU scenarios and ER scenarios, etc. So what we decided was that we are going to be impactful. And how impactful that became was that the residents made our job very easy. Remember that we are the boomers, and we are dealing with Gen Z. So you have to come to the level of Gen Z to be able to have a connection. I hope you all understand what I'm saying. So the most important thing is to get ourselves familiarized with what their training need was, how they want to be trained was the most important aspect of structuring out our format of training in Dr. Suleiman Al-Habib. So we do a communication skills workshop very regularly. We do case-based discussions very regularly. We do simulation training, and there is a lot going on in terms of different departmental-based workshops as well. So I'm from OB-GYN, so I can talk to you about CTG workshops. I can talk to you about situational awareness and clinical practice skills in the labor ward. I can also talk about surgical skills training. I can also talk about legalities and legal pitfalls in obstetric training that we have developed, and it's running very successfully. We do it on an annual basis, and we do talk to our residents about, because as you know, that OB-GYN and then anesthesia are the highly litigious fields all around the world. So in terms of safety and quality, what we emphasize on is that, say for instance, if our residents are training in a high dependency unit, they are aware from day one on what is an incident reporting, what is a near miss, what is a serious untoward incident, how to report them, how to be non-judgmental, how to come back and reflect on your own work, how to discuss that with your peers. So there is so much that needs to be translated on a humanoid basis because everybody over here may be a healthcare personnel, everybody may be a nurse, everybody may be a doctor. But in order to become a safe healthcare practitioner, it's very important that these characteristics and these properties are translated into our young residents from year one. And that's what we are thriving to do. And then, so the training engagement is again very, very necessary. And I will give you a small example that, every morning meeting that we do, the morning meeting ends with doing single best answers, and also with at least 2 OSCEs. So not only our trainees are doing morning meetings, but they are also doing exam practice. So this is a very scientific way of teaching, that whatever they have learned in the meeting, they will do SBAs and they will do OSCEs. So alhamdulillah, our 5s who have recently passed out have already taken and passed their Part 2 Saudi board exam with 100% success rate. So this was our key of amalgamating clinical practice with exam practice on a daily basis. Okay, and how do we measure our training outcomes? So we worked very hard with our teams on ground to make key performance indicators for our academic department. So our key performance indicators are our exam results. Our key performance indicators are our trainee results. Our key performance indicators are our research results. So it is mandatory for all the trainees who join us every October to be assigned to a research mentor and finish their research within the next 2 to 3 years and present that research. And we also have our own journal, inter-hospital journal, and we are linked with external journals so we can help our trainees to become writers of research articles in international journals, and of that there are many examples being published. Okay, so bridging between the cultures is very important, so we had to go to ground level to understand, and I can tell you some very fine stories. In year 1, when the residents come, they may have some issues that they find our field very difficult and challenging, and at some point in time somebody would come to us and say they are coping very hard but they are not able to make it, and they might want to think about changing their field, or they live very far from this city and they want to go back to that city. So these are the issues that we discussed with them, and we went to as far as solving those issues for them. If there was an accommodation issue or if there was a parental issue. We also had one very interesting example where a dad called us and he said, I have 7 daughters and this is my eldest daughter, and I think I have made a mistake. I don't want to send her to Riyadh, I want her back in Jeddah. So we sat with the family, and then we worked it out, and she passed out from Habib last month. So she completed her training program. So that was a success on her part as well. And I will let you hear what that resident's mother said in the end. We have a small video to share with you as well. Okay, so this is our recent passed out residents. And in the center, you can see best poster presentation in our recent international conference that Dr. Kawakib won. And they're all very proud to present their work, their scientific work, their research work. And the overall feedback that we get from our residents from all disciplines in Sulaiman Al Habib is a positive one, that, you know, their expectations were different when they joined, but since they have joined and since they are completing their training, their expectations have changed to the more positive, and they will encourage other residents to join us and apply for Habib as well. All right, so this is also another success story. Two of our residents who passed out then became fellow. One has finished her fellowship from Toronto, and the other one from North America, and they are coming back and joining Habib as a consultant. And the future is here. We have 7 new residents joining us in OB-GYN and 80 plus residents all over from the first week of October. And we had the privilege, we had an academic excellence reward. So from the last 3 years, yours truly has been having the Best Director Award and the Best Training Program Award from Sulaiman Al Habib Medical Group as well. And then these are some of our activities. And this is a huge research award that we do every year, in February of every year. And this is a presenting research award not only to Habib researchers, but from researchers all over the world. So last year, a very fine gentleman from Bangladesh won the top prize for his research work into microbiomes, and we flew him all over from Bangladesh to give him his award. All right, so if you can please, audiovisual, can you please run this video for me? Can we run this video, please, if possible?
كان له دور بإعطاء فرصة للبنات للدراسة، وهذه صراحة تحسب لها أولاً عند الله سبحانه وتعالى، ثانياً عند الناس، عند الموجودين. صراحة يعجز الواحد إنه يتكلم في اللحظة هذه، إحنا فخورين جداً فخورين بمكانتهم، فخورين بالأساتذة اللي معهم، وإن شاء الله نشوفهم في أعلى المراتب. كل الشكر والتقدير يا دكتور، كل الشكر والتقدير للدكاترة جميعا.
Okay, thank you very much.